Beloved soul, remember this eternal truth. The bank of God is never empty. There is no recession in heaven, no shortage in the divine treasury. All that you desire, health, wealth, joy, peace, and abundance, already exists in limitless supply, waiting for you to claim it by faith. Every good and perfect gift flows freely from the source. Yet it is not your striving or fear that opens the vaults of heaven, but your faith-filled word, your fearless trust, and your bold expectation. When you declare, "I receive my blessing now," the doors of spiritual supply swing wide, and the riches of life rush to meet you. Doubt and worry are like thieves that try to block your deposit, but gratitude, affirmation, and trust write the check of your desire, which is always honored by the divine banker. You need not beg, plead, or struggle. Instead, stand tall in faith. Speak with authority. The wealth of the universe flows to me. Divine channels open in perfect order. I am richly supplied. Remember, your words are your signature. Each word of faith is a signed withdrawal slip from the infinite treasury. Speak lack, and you withdraw emptiness. Speak abundance, and you withdraw blessing. So today, stand at the counter of the bank of God with confidence. Claim your blessing not someday, but now. The riches of heaven belong to you by right of divine inheritance.
Faith is the key. Gratitude is the seal. Bold declaration is the action.
Go forth knowing this truth. The bank of God is unlimited, and your account can never run dry. The divine treasury is unlimited, and this truth is the foundation of all faith, hope, and manifestation.
When we look at the world with human eyes, we see shortages, limitations, recessions, and lack.
But when we lift our vision to the higher realm of spirit, we understand that there is no lack in the eternal storehouse of God. Every blessing that has ever been imagined already exists in infinite supply. Wealth, health, love, joy, opportunities, and peace are not things to be chased after in desperation, but treasures waiting to be claimed by the soul that knows its inheritance. The divine treasury is not measured in coins or paper, nor does it depend upon earthly markets or economic systems. It is the boundless flow of life, forever circulating, forever increasing, forever available to the one who dares to believe. The mind trained in fear and struggle believes that supply is limited, that we must fight, compete, or sacrifice endlessly in order to survive. This is the great illusion that robs so many of their peace. In truth, there is no competition in the divine economy. What is for you cannot be taken away, and what you desire does not deprive another of their portion. The ocean of abundance cannot be emptied by 1,000,000 buckets, for its depths are infinite. Just as the sun gives its light without ever being diminished, the divine treasury gives supply without measure, and it flows ceaselessly, waiting only for us to open our hearts to receive. Every thought of lack, every anxious word, is like closing the door to this storehouse. It is not the universe that withholds from us, but our own doubt and disbelief.
When we declare with confidence that the divine provides, that our needs are met in perfect timing, we align ourselves with the eternal current of supply.
Faith is the key that unlocks the vault, and words of faith are the signatures that draw from the infinite account. To say, "I am richly supplied," even when appearances suggest otherwise, is to write a check on the limitless treasury of God. That declaration will be honored, not because of human effort, but because it is aligned with the law of spirit, which is never failing and never delayed. The divine treasury holds more than material wealth. It contains ideas, inspirations, guidance, and opportunities that lead to prosperity in every form. An inspired thought can be worth more than gold, for it opens doors to abundance that were once invisible.
A word of guidance can save years of struggle, and a spark of creativity can turn into a lifetime of blessings.
When we trust that the treasury is unlimited, we stop begging for crumbs and start receiving banquet after banquet of spiritual and material riches. Gratitude then becomes our natural response, for the more we recognize the flow, the more it increases in our lives. This eternal supply has no beginning and no end. It has no boundaries and no restrictions. It is not limited by time, distance, or circumstance. To believe in its reality is to step into a life where miracles become ordinary and where every day is filled with fresh demonstrations of divine provision. The divine treasury is unlimited, and as children of this great source, our inheritance is without measure. To know this truth is to live in peace, to walk in confidence, and to rest in the certainty that we are always supplied, always blessed, and always connected to the infinite abundance of God. Faith is the golden key that unlocks the vault of divine supply. Without faith, the treasures of heaven remain sealed, not because they are withheld, but because the door cannot swing open without the touch of belief. Faith is not a vague hope or a timid wish. It is the unshakable certainty that what you ask for is already yours in the unseen realm. It is the bold declaration of the soul that refuses to be moved by appearances. Faith looks beyond the evidence of the senses and takes hold of the promise of spirit.
So many live as beggars outside the treasury, asking in fear, waiting for a sign, or wondering if they are worthy.
But faith never begs, faith claims, faith steps forward with confidence, knowing that the vault of divine blessing responds to certainty, not hesitation. When you stand in faith, you align with the highest law of the universe, which is abundance, order, and fulfillment. The vault swings open not because you have struggled for it, but because you believed it was already yours. Faith is not dependent on what you see. To wait for proof before believing is to lock yourself in a circle of delay. Faith begins where sight ends. When appearances suggest lack, faith declares plenty. When circumstances whisper defeat, faith proclaims victory.
When doors appear shut, faith announces that the perfect way is opening now.
The vault of supply cannot resist the command of a believing heart, for faith is the divine password that grants access to infinite riches. The smallest seed of faith has power beyond measure. It is not the size of your faith that matters, but its presence. A single spark of true belief can ignite a chain of miracles, turning deserts into gardens and obstacles into opportunities. Each time you choose faith over fear, you take another step into the treasury of divine supply. Each time you speak words of belief, the unseen begins to shape itself into visible form. Faith is active, not passive. It is not waiting idly for something to happen. It is stepping forward as though the blessing has already arrived. It is making space, preparing the ground, and living as though the vault has already been unlocked. That kind of faith draws supply like a magnet. The universe rushes to fill the expectancy of the believing soul. When you understand that faith is the key, you stop asking, "Will it come?" and begin declaring, "It is already mine." You stop worrying about the how and simply rest in the certainty that the vault is open and your blessing is flowing. Faith does not analyze or doubt. It trusts the process of spirit. And as surely as night gives way to day, the manifestation of your faith will appear. The vault of God's supply is endless, but only faith can open its doors. Fear locks it, doubt delays it, hesitation weakens it. Yet a heart filled with faith is unstoppable. When you say with conviction, "It is done," the vault responds, and the treasures of heaven pour forth in ways that surpass understanding. Words are not mere sounds or empty expressions. They are creative forces that write the story of your life. Each word you speak, is like a signed withdrawal slip presented at the counter of the divine treasury. The universe honors your words, for they carry the vibration of your faith, your beliefs, and your expectations. When you speak words of abundance, you authorize the release of blessings. When you speak words of lack, you authorize emptiness to appear. The unseen world listens closely to every declaration and responds accordingly. So many waste their words in complaint, doubt, and fear, not realizing they are signing checks for experiences they do not desire. Each time you say, "I can't afford this," or "things never work out for me," you stamp your signature on a withdrawal slip for more struggle. Each time you affirm, "I am blessed," or "money flows freely to me," you authorize the delivery of prosperity. The divine bank does not question your request. It simply processes what you decree. That is the power and the responsibility of the spoken word. Words are seeds, and they never return void. When you speak with intention, you plant the seeds of your future. The soil of the universe is always fertile, and it grows whatever is sown into it. The wise soul understands this law and guards the tongue carefully, using words to create only what is desired. To say, "I am wealthy," is to draw wealth. To say, "I am healthy," is to draw health. To say, "I am divinely guided," is to open the channel for perfect direction. Your words not only shape your outer world, but also program your inner being. The subconscious mind accepts every declaration as truth and begins to organize your thoughts, emotions, and actions to match what you say. This is why affirmations are so powerful. They are not empty repetition, but deliberate signatures on the withdrawal slips of divine supply. Each time you affirm, you strengthen the instruction, and soon the outer world delivers what you have declared. To misuse words is to write bad checks that create disappointment and delay, but to master your words is to master your destiny. When you realize that each statement you make is honored by the law of spirit, you will no longer speak carelessly. You will choose words of faith, gratitude, and victory, knowing that they draw exactly what you desire. The more consistent your declarations, the more swiftly your blessings manifest. Speak only what you want to experience, never what you fear. Speak as if the treasury has already released your blessing, and it shall be so. Your words are not small, they carry the authority of spirit within you. Speak wealth, and wealth comes. Speak peace, and peace comes. Speak abundance, and abundance flows without measure. Each word is a withdrawal slip, and the account of the divine is unlimited. Gratitude is the law of increase in action. It is the key that not only opens the flow of supply, but multiplies it beyond measure. When you are grateful for what you have, you align with the rhythm of abundance. Gratitude says to the universe, "I recognize the gift. I honor the source. I am ready for more." And in response, the flow expands. Just as a child who is thankful receives more from a loving parent, so too does the grateful heart receive more from the divine. So many overlook the blessings already present in their lives. They focus on what is missing and forget to notice what is here. But the one who gives thanks, even for small things, creates a vibration that attracts greater things. Gratitude multiplies supply because it shifts your attention from lack to plenty. It turns your focus toward the eternal flow instead of temporary appearances. When you are grateful, you cannot be fearful, for gratitude and lack cannot dwell in the same heart. Every word of thanks is like depositing joy into your account, which immediately accrues interest and grows. The grateful person finds doors opening effortlessly, for gratitude magnetizes good. Opportunities are drawn to those who live in appreciation because their energy radiates abundance. Gratitude is not merely a polite habit. It is a spiritual force that accelerates manifestation. To say, "Thank you for my blessings," is to call more blessings forth.
To say, "Thank you for what is coming," is to draw it near with speed and certainty. Even in times of challenge, gratitude has the power to transform.
When you give thanks before the blessing appears, you demonstrate faith, and faith releases miracles. Saying, "Thank you for my answered prayer," even before evidence appears, multiplies supply. It is as if the universe hears your gratitude and rushes to match your confidence with visible proof. The ungrateful heart sees only lack, and therefore multiplies lack. But the grateful heart sees only abundance, and therefore multiplies abundance. The law is clear. What you focus on expands. Gratitude ensures you focus on the good, and so the good grows. Even simple thanks for breath, sunlight, health, or opportunities opens a river of blessings. No act of gratitude is too small. Each one sets into motion a multiplication process that never fails. Live in continual gratitude, and you will find that supply never runs dry. Your heart will overflow with joy, your hands will be filled with blessings, and your path will shine with opportunities. Gratitude multiplies supply because it tunes your soul to the frequency of abundance. It declares to the universe, "I see the richness all around me." And the universe answers, "Then more shall be given unto you." Boldness is the language of faith in action. The soul that dares to step forward with confidence finds doors opening where others see only walls. Blessings are not for the timid, who hesitate and doubt, but for the bold, who believe enough to act, speak, and claim without fear. When you stand in boldness, you declare to the universe, "I know who I am. I know what belongs to me. I will not shrink back, for my blessing is certain." That kind of courage draws abundance like a magnet. Timidity whispers, "What if I fail? What if I am unworthy?" And in so doing, it delays the flow of supply. Boldness proclaims, "It is mine now. I am worthy. I will receive." The bold soul does not wait for perfect circumstances or endless confirmations. It steps forward in trust, knowing that the ground will rise to meet each step. Blessings flow to those who move with courage, for boldness is evidence of faith made visible. Every time you hesitate in fear, you close the door to opportunity. But when you act boldly, the universe responds with provision. The moment you declare boldly, "I am abundantly supplied," unseen channels begin to open. The moment you take a bold step toward your dream, resources appear that you could not have predicted. The divine loves boldness because boldness honors the infinite supply and refuses to insult it with small requests. Boldness does not mean arrogance. It means confidence rooted in faith. It is not demanding from ego, but claiming from inheritance. The child of a wealthy parent does not beg for bread. They ask boldly, knowing provision is certain. So too must you approach the bank of God, not as a beggar, but as a rightful heir. Claim your portion boldly, and it will be delivered. Speak your desire with courage, and it will be honored. Act with conviction, and the path will unfold. History is filled with those who received mighty blessings because they dared to act boldly when others held back. The same law applies today. Those who shrink remain in the shadows, while those who are bold walk in the light of abundance. The divine is not limited, but your boldness determines the measure of what you draw forth. Ask small, and you will receive small. Ask greatly, and you will receive greatly. The measure of your boldness is the measure of your blessing. When you understand this, you stop whispering timid prayers and begin declaring with power. You stop hoping weakly and begin claiming strongly. You stop waiting for permission and begin walking in confidence. Blessings rush toward boldness because boldness is the proof of unwavering faith. Step forward without fear, and abundance will meet you on the path. The greatest mistake many souls make is postponing their blessings to some future day. They say, "Someday I will be prosperous, someday I will be healed, someday I will be happy." But the law of spirit is always in the present. Your blessing is not in a far off tomorrow. It is in the eternal now. To claim your blessing now is to step into the reality that it already exists in the unseen, waiting only for your acceptance. Delay is a trick of the mind, a way of keeping you in waiting instead of receiving. But the truth is clear. The Bank of God does not operate on human calendars. Its supply is always available, always flowing, always ready. The only question is, will you claim it now? When you say, "I receive now," you bring the unseen into the seen. You shift your vibration from waiting to possessing. You move from hope to manifestation. To claim your blessing now is not to ignore appearances, but to override them. It is to say, "Though I do not yet see it, I know it is mine." That declaration releases the blessing into form. Every moment you wait, you push it further away, but every moment you claim, you draw it closer. The universe responds to the energy of immediacy. When you speak as though it is already done, it begins to appear. Many remain poor in spirit because they always wait for a better time. They say, "When I earn more, I will give thanks. When I am healed, I will rejoice. When I succeed, I will celebrate." But the law is reversed. Give thanks now, rejoice now, celebrate now, and the blessing will appear. Claiming now creates the vibration of already having, and that vibration attracts the substance to match. Claiming your blessing now is also a sign of respect for the divine. To delay is to doubt. To claim is to trust. The divine does not delay its generosity. It is always giving. It is we who delay our receiving. When you finally say, "I receive now," you align with the endless giving of spirit. You take your place as a rightful heir of abundance, health, joy, and peace. Stand boldly in the present moment and declare, "My good is here now. My supply is here now. My healing is here now. My joy is here now." Speak it, believe it, live it as though it were already done, and watch the outer world shape itself to match your declaration. The law of spirit cannot be broken. What you claim in faith now becomes your reality. Your blessing is waiting. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when circumstances look better. It is waiting for you to claim it now. And when you do, you will see that heaven rushes to honor your faith, releasing abundance, healing, and joy without measure. Would you like me to also prepare a short affirmation, style ending just 4 or 5 powerful lines that you can use as a closing for the whole series when spoken together? Glowing star, I now stand in the treasury of divine abundance. I speak words of faith. I give thanks with joy. I act with boldness, and I claim my blessing now. The vault of heaven is open, and my life overflows with health, wealth, peace, and joy. What is mine by divine right appears easily, swiftly, and in perfect order, and so it is. Glowing star.